We are recording. Hello, everyone. My name is Dana McLean. If you haven't been to my um, YouTube channel or my podcast before, I want to let you know I am a all over practical mystic and spiritual seeker. I am an intuitive energy worker and life coach. And lately, I've been feeling that I need to add the word teacher in there. I'm having a lot of downloads lately around teaching information that's coming through. So I may be doing this intro different every single time because my things change and add and shift. But I, yeah, I just want to briefly say that I've got Mariah with me today, which I'm super excited because she's always super fun.
Woo-woo.
So, Mariah, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and tell everybody what you do, and then we'll get on to
Mhm.
our fun, just conversation that we
Yeah, I'll
do on
shout
this
him out.
practical mystic. Yeah. Okay, go for it.
Yes. So I am Mariah Hollingshed. For those of you who do not know me, I am an intuitive energy practitioner certified in Crystal Reiki at the master level. And I am also a teacher. I can teach Reiki, and I've been doing a lot of classes like, pendulum classes, tarot card classes. I'm an oracle tarot reader. And we've been doing manifestation jar classes and things like that, and full moon circles, and just really kind of my whole niche is that I really want people to discover the magic within inside themselves. And my business is called Esoteric Essential. There's no S at the end of that because you are the only tool that you need in order to have a spiritual life. And so Dana and I kind of have joined forces and just kind of want to guide you guys through what kind of goes through our life as practical mystics. And she's created this amazing podcast and invited me on, so here I am to kind of give you a little bit of knowledge of what goes on in my life from the day to day, because
Yes. Yeah.
we're all going through the
Well,
same stuff.
exactly. And right now, I think, I don't know, like I did a podcast the other day, um, and I talked about the fact that I just sort of felt like I had to step back for a while. Um, just, I don't know, I'm trying to, connect with the flow of the energy that's they're moving me forward or wanting me to sit back. And um, I don't know, like it was about 3 days ago, I was like, it's time. It's time to
Yeah.
start going back out again. I even created a list. I've been very into lately, and I don't know if everybody else is feeling this. We're kind of out of Virgo season. I know you're a Virgo, but we're kind of out of Virgo season. But it was very Virgo-like of me to create lists for to keep myself accountable and to give myself some sort of like structure because I was feeling, and I think this is why I stepped back, I was feeling really overwhelmed, like with just so much to do and not enough time. And I started doing this list with my home chores. And I thought it would be overwhelming to have a list to be like, feeling, oh, if I don't do that today, then it piles up and I didn't do it tomorrow. And my daughter had this whole checkoff system, and I was like, don't do a checkoff system because then I'll feel like if I didn't check it off, then I didn't do it. And I just didn't want to get like overwhelmed. And she said, the whole idea of doing this, mom, is so that you're not overwhelmed because I'm tired of you walking around the house being passive aggressive, like, oh my God, I have all these things to do and nobody's helping me. And then I don't get anything done. So I decided to go for it, and we did 1 month of it, and I can't believe my daughter's 23, I'm 53, and I'm just now creating a list to keep myself. And I got to tell you, it was the best thing I've done because it literally it it's like one day I might just have plants to water, and I'm like, that's all I have to do today. I don't have to do anything else, and it felt so. It just felt like it took a lot of pressure off me. So I decided to. I did some channeling work with my guides, and I talked a little bit about, like, is it time to kind of go out and do this? And I kept hearing create. a structure for yourself, create a structure for yourself. Of course, as soon as I hear that kind of stuff, I look up astrology and I'm like, what's going on? And,
Right.
I'm like, Saturn's in retrograde and Capricorn. Well, of course, or I'm sorry, Aquarius. If it's in my, well, it's in everybody's chart, but it happens to be in my chart of spirituality right now. So I'm kind of like, or my placement. Um, so I was like, okay, I think I need to create a list, a structure. So I'm working on it, but I have a structure. I have it right here, and I mark it off, and I've got like, this is what I do today, this is what I do tomorrow, and it actually is relieving a lot of stress. I had a friend out of Winnipeg that I've connected with over some program I did and about a year ago, and she was talking about how she's been feeling very connected to, um, and you'll relate to this because you're such a Virgo, um, into what's the word? Not discipline. And
Mhm.
changing the word discipline into something that is more in alignment, that feels positive, and how discipline can actually support you. And so I was down doing, taking my time off, and I'm down doing home projects. When I say down, I was on the floor painting baseboard. Um, and I know, and of course, you're thinking because,
Right.
you have all this time. And I said, what is discipline? I was asking spirit, what does discipline do for somebody? And I got discipline opens up the flow of energy. When you have discipline, it allows for the flow of energy. So when you're stop, start, go, stop, whatever, you're kind of blocking the flow because you're going and you're blocking your flow. When you have discipline and you have structure, and you're sticking with that structure and you're valuing it and giving it priority, which is the discipline part, um, you allow the opportunity for energy to flow in and out because it knows where to go and when to go and how to go. And it's not like you're blocking it. There's days
Right.
obviously where you're like, I can't do it today. I've got this drama happening or whatever. But like on a general basis, it just allows, it actually gives you more freedom than less. And it does. And I think just the word discipline feels so like, but
Right.
it's really
Right.
not. It's and you think about all the priests and religious people, Buddhist monks and stuff that, discipline's such a part of their life, but it's like, yeah, it's like prioritizing yourself too, and I wasn't doing that. Someone told me the other day when I was
Right.
kind of hard on myself, they were like, "You're not being very nice to Dana. You're being really mean to her." Because I wasn't giving myself, I was like having breakdowns because I wasn't giving myself time because I was obsessed doing other things.
Right.
And so this, yeah, so I've created, so that's kind of what's been going on with me lately. I've been sort of creating these little pockets and playing with it, going, does this work? And then not being too hard on myself if I like last night I ended up doing two chores because I missed one the day before, but I got them done. It was like no
Right.
big deal. And then I just marked it off, Um, and I'm not gonna freak out if I don't do it, but it gives me it kind of makes not doesn't feel like everything has to be done all at once and I'm behind all the time. And when do I have time for me, And so
Right.
my next step, because I did some journaling this morning, my next step is to say, hey, okay, I've got this chart for my home chores. I've got this chart for my business. How do I fit Dana time in there? And when do I do my chores? When do I do, when's the best time for these things? And especially with the weather changing, I'm having to realize that like, I can't use the vacuum when my dogs are in the house because they want to eat it and tack it. So I have to wait, do it during the day if I got floors today or whatever, So it's just, I don't know, I'm kind of playing with this whole discipline and structure thing. And then when I saw, Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter all, in alignment, I haven't looked at astrology for a while, and I saw them all in retrograde, obviously. I was like, well, there you go.
Mhm.
That's what's happening. And then, the only other one thing I want to share before I let you go is, or let you jump in, is
She's like, that's it. It's over.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mariah's here, but I'm not gonna let her talk. The Mercury's in retrograde in Libra, and we have a new moon coming tomorrow, I think. And
Tomorrow.
So then you've got the sun's in Libra and the moon's in Libra, and Libra is about relationships. And when I was looking at my chart, for example, it's also well, it's in transformation. But I was looking at Libra in the seventh house, and it's all about relationships. And a lot of times, and I know this when I first learned astrology, they were like, well, it's about interpersonal relationships mostly, but I've always felt that it's relationships with anything, because I've found the connection that it's really with anything that you find important, that you deal with on a daily basis. So I have a relationship with my chores, I have a relationship with my business, I have a relationship with you, I have a relationship with myself, with my partner, I mean, my husband and my daughter, my dogs, whatever. So it's really challenging. Mercury being there with the sun is really challenging that individual self and the relationship you have with other things. And everything I've been Googling and looking up what other people are saying, it's the same thing. It's about, it's kind of scary in a way. It can be for some people to think about it, but if you've been in this world enough, recognizing that it's an ebb and flow and it's not always what it seems to be. It could be like, here's the title, your relationships are going to change. It could be
Right.
just, my relationships are going to shift and it might be better. Or maybe there's a relationship you have that's not really beneficial to you, and you're going to find an opportunity to easily and gracefully pull away from it for something better. So that's what I feel like the theme is right
Right.
now. Okay,
Yes.
so and other than the fact that Mercury in retrograde is a fucking it's oh my god, it's so bad right now. I can't even tell you. Like I'll just give you one example. I had like five things happen yesterday, but the one that got me the most, and I had a witness. I said, "Oh my gosh, come in here and see this." My keyboard had the caps lock on. With cap lock on, it was typing lowercase. With cap locks off, it was typing uppercase, which is the
Oh my
opposite,
God.
obviously.
Yeah.
And this
Backwards
morning,
day.
yeah, right. It's totally backwards there. So this morning I go in and I do it, and it's back to normal. And I'm like,
Yeah.
my TV was changing channels on me. Like, I'm like, do I have
Yeah.
a poltergeist in my house? Like, what's happening? But then I was like, well, Mercury's in retrograde, so whatever.
Yeah. Everything
Anyway,
same here in my house.
yeah.
Like everything has been going crazy. Like the electronics and things, like just things charging and then not charging and then working and then not working, and then like things are just happening like crazy. Like within an hour thing, I got like all these different like what the fuck moments type things happen, and it was just it's been intense. It's been super freaking intense. And I'm right there with you along with the lines of like everything that's happening and going on. Except mine, I've been, I'm more of the list person. I've got notebooks galore. I mean, that's like my normal life. And see, now I'm feeling kind of like I'm taking a little bit of a step back from that and like honoring myself and my body and like really putting my health as like a priority, like number one, like so much so to the point to where I was literally called selfish this morning, because I'm
Good for
doing things for
you. Be
myself. And
selfish.
it's like,
Yes.
oh, you're just being selfish. You're all about self. And I'm like, well, yes, you cannot serve from an empty cup. So I need to work on myself. I need to focus on myself, and I need to do these things for me in order so I can continue living a healthier, stronger, more balanced life. And if that doesn't fit into, your idea of how I should be living, then that's on you, boo. Like that's your ego that you got to work with. But like, I'm not being selfish by taking care of my health. And
Mm.
if you want to like, combat that, then that's something. But it's just been the energies are like this with all of the friendships and everything. And I'm noticing more and more the things that are not meant for you and the things that are not in alignment with like what spirit has for you is getting really uncomfortable, really loud, and things are starting to happen in my life that like are I know there's certain things there's like a certain path that I'm not supposed to be, at least I feel, continuing to go down, right? But I'm continuing to go down, and then my health suffers, and then I gain a bunch of weight, and then this happens, and then I lose this account or whatever. Like the universe isn't playing around with me no more. They're like,
No,
oh,
they're not.
okay, you
No.
you
Yeah.
you say you want one thing, but your actions are saying another, and the energies aren't aligning up. So since you're giving your time and your energy to something that isn't serving you, let's go ahead and manifest all of these other things to really make you sit the fuck down and evaluate your life and think about it. Because if you aren't 100% sure and you want to dabble, and you want to continue to like teeter on this road of like, well, maybe there's a chance or whatever. Nah, the universe is like, sit the fuck down, Gina. Like,
Gina,
seriously,
I
sit the
love
fuck
it.
down. Like,
I haven't heard Gina before. I like that.
yeah,
That's good
well,
one.
people use Linda and Karen. I'm starting to feel bad for the
Karen.
name, so I'll pick Gina today. Might be, Susie tomorrow. Who knows? But I'm just like, the universe is
Oh.
not playing around, and
Mm-mm.
manifestations are literally happening like the same freaking day. Like, it's tomorrow's a new moon. Like, I don't know if we're going to be talking about the new moon, but the
We
energy of
can't.
that
No,
is,
let's talk about
ooh,
the new moon. I was making a bunch of phone calls this morning, and so I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, I got to talk to Mariah." So I was like looking up really
yeah,
quick. So I haven't done a lot on it other than the uh basics of it's in Libra, so I recognize the energy there, but talk about the new moon if you have stuff to
yeah,
share.
yeah. So, basically, so it says that it's happening literally right at the sunset. So, like,
Yes,
when
you
you
sent
wake,
me that
or the
video. Thank
sunrise,
you.
sunrise. Yeah.
Sunrise.
So,
In
literally, like,
Pacific.
right,
I'm guessing that's Pacific
yeah,
though, right? Yeah,
Pacific.
yeah.
Yeah. So like literally right when you wake up, like if you wake up with the sunrise, like put your intentions out there, because that is just gonna like amplify them so much more, because all of our plans are coming to fruition right now. We're in harvest season, right? Your fruits of your labor are like coming, like the universe is recognizing all of your hard work, but it's also clearing the path. Like when you harvest a field and you like, for corn, for example, like once that's done, the thing is empty. Like there's not any
Mhm.
big stocks anymore. Like everything gets cut down completely to the ground. And that's what's happening in our life. Like it may look like everything's falling apart, but we're just reaping what we sowed, and the harvest is here. And, if you're not liking your bounty, well, then maybe that's something that we as, need to look at on
Mhm.
ourselves,
Yeah.
and, ask ourselves these hard questions. And tonight is a good night to do that. Like, get your journal out, get your piece of paper out. Like, I have some questions that I've been like writing down, and like really I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna ask myself these things. And like the first one is like, am I honoring my body as a temple? Like straight up.
Your
Like,
relationship with your body. Relationships.
exactly.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
good.
because I am my own channel, right? I am my own
Mhm.
source of spiritual guidance, right? And if I'm putting in crap, what am I going to get out? And like, how is my body going to react? Because like, let's be real, we're in a different type of energy right now. Like, this
Mhm.
isn't no 3D bullshit no more. Like, we've all leveled up, you know what I mean? So like, the game has changed. They want to say like, oh, the new normal of life, but like on a spiritual level, like, what's our new higher elevated quote unquote new normal, right? And like, we have to take care of ourselves. So where is your faith or spiritual beliefs grounded in, and are you rooted within your own beliefs? Like, are you really set solid within your things? Like for me, I can say, oh, I need respect, but I'm not respecting myself
Mm.
by allowing certain people in my life to continue to do certain things to me and keep sweeping it under the rug. I'm not
Mhm.
honoring myself. I'm not respecting
Yeah.
myself. And then the universe is giving me more opportunities for me to stand up and respect myself. And it's not fun right now, because I'm not liking that game, but you know what? Like, I'm doing it to myself, right? So it's like, you have to ask yourself these questions. Like, another one is, where are you having to have empathy right now? Like, is it for our society, for your friend, for your mother, for yourself, for your pet? Like, where are you being asked? Like, where is this highlighting it for you? Do you have faith, and do you trust the process? Like, do you really have enough faith within spirit to jump before you see your wings? I know I don't. And I'm being shown that right now, like 100%. It's like, oh, you don't trust us, so go ahead, do it yourself, silly human. You know what I mean? Like, we really need to, like, spirit's not messing around with us no more, And so it's really just very valid and very important to, like, during this new moon, journal this stuff out, get it clear as if it were like a full moon, like do your sage, do whatever, like clear that stuff out. That way, when you wake up with the moon and have your water, your tea, your coffee, whatever it is, or the sunshine, sorry, not the, I said the moon, the sun. When you wake up with the sun, put what you're wanting to manifest out there, right? Like you like for real, like if no obstacles were in the way, like if you could wake up tomorrow in a completely different life, like what would that look like? Script it out. Like
Like
say
that.
it out loud to the sun and like thank it, you know, like it's coming literally at sunset or sunrise, so why not like put gratitude to the sun and to the moon, you know, give like honor it however you want. There's no right or wrong way to like do a ritual or do anything like that. It's just literally asking yourself these questions so that you may grow, because if we just stay stuck in this like cycle of repeating patterns, that's what we're going to continue to get, is another cycle of the same patterns, like same shit, different toilet, but it's the same fucking shit. Like it doesn't matter if it's a gold toilet or a white porcelain toilet, it's the same fucking shit. And we need to get out of that and realize like the bees don't sit there and convince the fly why honey is better than shit. You know what I mean? Like a fly is a fly for a reason, right? And the worker bee is a worker bee for a reason. You know, it just takes a little bit of a switch, right? To like get to that point of like being like, okay, so if you say that you want something, you have got to put in the steps like your lists in this realm in order to make that happen. You can't just say that you want to be this amazing podcaster and then never do a podcast in your life. You're doing these weekly podcasts and getting this information out because you're putting in the action steps to align with your manifestation. And what's going to happen? The universe is providing, the universe is showing up, the universe put us together, right? Like all of these things are happening because of what you're doing. Point blank.
That was brilliant.
Oh,
That was
your turn.
brilliant and very fun to listen to. Yes. So do you think that this okay, so right, so another thing
I
that
know I
came to
kind
me
of went all
too.
over the place. Sorry about
No, no,
that.
no, no, this is good.
I was on a
This is the
roll.
topic, the conversation. So yesterday, was it this morning? Well, I think it was yesterday and this morning. I've been very into
Friends
like,
and illusions, anyways. It don't matter.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, it doesn't matter. And I don't remember half the things. That's why I don't remember, because they're like, doesn't matter.
It
Um,
doesn't. Ugh,
the
don't like that.
it's there's so much. It's so helpful, especially with everything that's going on right now, to have intention. I think for
Hmm.
for what you want, and it's so listening to you. I thought that was really good, because I think that we don't take the time enough to create intention. I mean, part of the one of the reasons I didn't want to do the list, and I remember throwing a little fit about it, when I did the chore one in the house, was because it's so funny. It took too much. I was pissed off because I was like, that's going to take too much time
Right. I could be
to
clean
create
by
a
the time I
list.
get done with my list.
Right,
Like the
right.
fuck.
Like, oh my God, I have to pick out which thing to do each day, and then I have to figure it out. And then, why don't I just do it? Why do I have to make a list? And then I thought, um, what the intention was behind it was so important, because it was about trying to allow flow into my life, right? And make
Right.
things easier. So just like, it doesn't have to be that for everyone though. For me, it just felt
Right.
like that's what I needed to do in the moment. But for other people, it might be, like you said, just something completely different. It might be, I need to take, like you're like honoring your personal physical health first,
Yeah.
and people are, and that's your intention with everything you do. And if someone's saying, well, you're being selfish, well, you're like, well, yeah, I am being selfish, because
Yeah.
it
It's
is
my
about
life.
self.
It's my
Yeah, and
body. Like, no
exactly.
one
And
else
you
can be
can't,
selfish in that area for me.
do you want me to be unselfish for the rest of my life so that I like
Right.
actually break down and then I get
Right.
worse? So the
Yeah.
intention, like, even this morning I walked out and I remember thinking, my intention is that today is going to be this, 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 and this, and it's going to feel like this, and this. And, feeling, I think, is really important to put in there. But like, intention with, you know, with anything, whatever you do, I think is really, really important. And that's why I think these moon ceremonies are so important. And even though a lot of people probably don't think they are, but being a practical mystics, we know that they are, because we're very connected to the moon, but also, and the sun, but also
Right.
just the idea that like when you create an intention whether it's putting it down on paper and making it real, like a list, or whether I'm going to put down, this is my intention on how I would like to feel. And then I back it up, right? With
Right.
whether it's what you want
Excuse
to
me.
call a ritual, or whether you want to call it a prayer, or whether you want to call it a party, whatever it
Right.
is. You could drink
Hmm.
vodka and say, okay, this is this is what I do for mine. It's sort
Hmm.
of like saying down the hatch, let's go, like whatever.
Right.
But yeah, so I like this. So for this particular moon, I think it just sounds like the theme that we've got going, and we're kind of connected to them, this energy. Not kind of, but we are. But we're talking
Yeah.
about it and we're aware of
Mhm.
it. Is that our intention is to shift the relationships, it sounds like, between us and what's going on in our life that's not working for us.
Right. Right.
Obviously new moons
And
are always about like new beginnings, right? And full moons are
yeah.
kind of like about like, okay, you've had those 2 weeks of a new beginning. What isn't working for you? What do you need to shift? But I feel like
Mhm.
this one particular feels like it's from the beginning. What is it? There's something in your life that's gonna transform in a relationship you have with something, an interpersonal relationship in a big way, and they'll be so cool to see after where the full moon comes. Do you know what it's the full moon would be in Aries then, right?
I'm not sure.
I
I
think it would
I
be.
do
I'll
different
look.
astrology than you do.
Yeah, I'll
I do the side drill or whatever it's
the
called, where you like look up in the
sidereal
sky. Yeah, sidereal.
sidereal,
Thank you.
yeah, but
So
the moon should
technically, I
be
think it says it's still in Virgo or something, but I don't know. I mean, I'm not a professional in that realm. I just follow what feels good to me, I guess. And the
mhm.
energy is just like right now, like don't push, like don't be snooty, don't let ego take over. Like check on your friends. Everyone's doing the best that they are within the realm that they're in right now, and everyone's trying to create a better life for themselves. And if they're not, trust the universe and karma is dishing out like they're you know what I mean like so
Mhm.
it's just really I think it's just key, and it's just like a reminder to like how people kind of say like stay in your own lane, but like stay in your own lane as far as judgment of like what you feel other people should be doing, because that's being illuminated, and relationship irritants are being illuminated and highlighted, and they have been for a minute, like it's really, really, really important to get clear with like what you actually want, because everything is being, like you said, highlighted and illuminated right now in order for us to take a look at that and change it for our new beginnings and change it for the new perspective of the person that we're trying to be. Like I, as a intuitive energy practitioner, can't continue to live that lifestyle if I'm, like nothing wrong again with Doritos, but I'm just going to use Doritos as an example. If I'm stuffing my face with Doritos all day long, like I'm
Oh, you froze up on me. Um, hmm, let me cancel some programs here. Sorry, everyone who's listening. Mariah froze up on me. She might have to go back out and come back in. I'm going to take her off um, and see if that works and ask her to come back. In the meantime, um, um, hold on, everyone. I just got to text her. Um, the moon will be in Aries. I mean, the moon will be in Aries when we do have a full moon in. It looks like the 20th and of October. So Aries is going to be your first house of the self, and obviously, then the opposite side where the sun is Libra, and that is the house of relationships. So there is this. There's going to be this clarity around which relationship in your life needs adjusting to best serve you, the self. And that's really what's happening as far as this. situation. So let's see if I can get Mariah back on. Hold on one second.
It's all good.
Okay. Yeah,
Mercury
we lost you
retrograde. We
for a
were
second.
literally just
Exactly.
talking
We were
about
just
that.
talking about it. So no, I know you never left. And you were talking away. I'm sorry. I saw your text
It's all good.
messages now. I think
Uh-huh.
what happened was I don't know what happened. I clicked
It's okay.
something on my computer and
Yeah,
Mercury retrograde.
yeah.
But what I did
But
say while you
I'm
were gone is,
yeah.
oh, go ahead. No, no, no.
No, no,
Finish
no.
your ramble. Oh, well, I just was telling everyone while you were gone that whether it's sidereal or yeah, Western
Mhm.
tropical astrology, you're still going to be in the same because as long as the sun's in Libra, which I think it still will be on October 20th, which is really close. I don't know, it might be in Scorpio in sidereal, but if it's still Libra, the opposite house is Aries, which means Aries is about the self. So what I was saying was when this first 2 weeks is probably most likely going to be about then what is the relationship that needs to be shifted, and then as we start seeing the issues and the things that want to be done, then we'll have a clarity on the full moon of what we need to release and what needs to be shifted for that relationship, because it'll be to help the self feel
Right.
more in alignment, yeah, with that relationship. So go ahead, I'm sorry, what were you saying
Yeah,
earlier
well,
that
no,
okay.
I was going to say that I'm glad that this whole glitch and stuff happened because it reminded me of the whole point of like everything that I'm trying to get at is everything's going to happen right now, right? The world's crazy, everyone's crazy, like whatever. Like this is only the beginning, right? Like this stuff isn't going to happen anytime soon. Throat chakra, right?
I know
But
it's,
the
oh
key
yeah.
is throat chakra. The key is how do you, as a sovereign being of love and light, respond to that? Because that's the only thing that you can control. You can't control the situations. You can't control the outcomes. You can't control anything about anything except how you, as a being of love and light, are going to react to the situation, right? So, for example, Mercury retrograde, we can get all like frazzled and freak out. And, oh my God, this isn't working. And like, fuck this podcast. Like, this isn't blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? And like, give up. Or we can continue rolling with the punches and being like, this is actually something that's like validating the point right now. Like, we're as beings of love and light, like we're trying to send a positive message. So it doesn't matter what Mercury wants to do to us, what technology wants to do to us, what, the naysayers or whatever we need to do, because we're going to get that message out because it's important to us. And like, we're honoring our own hearts, right? Same thing with like TikTok. I got banned from TikTok for lighting sage. They said that the act of lighting sage was considered dangerous, and I was promoting violence because someone can hurt themselves, right, with like the burning of a lighter. And so it's just like little things like that are just going to keep coming up, and like I can freak out and throw a huge fit and say F TikTok and like all of this stuff. Or okay, lesson learned. You don't want me using an actual lighter, so if I'm going to do sage, I'll have it pre-lit and then come on and do whatever. Like, whatever. There's ways of working around, jumping through your little hoops, whatever, but it ain't going to phase me because I'm still going to get people cleared. I'm still going to use my sage. I'm going to same thing, with the mask, right? Like I don't like that, but I'm going to wear it to the grocery store because that's a hoop that you want me to jump through, and it's not like doing anything to my insides, right? Like it's annoying. Yes, it's inconvenience. Yes. But like, is it physically damaging me? No. So I'm going to jump through this little tiny hoop. Oh, my kids' school is calling me.
Oh,
Uh,
which
I got to,
one? I'll
yeah,
we'll
I'm
pause this,
sorry.
okay? That's
Okay.
okay.
Back to being not in control of the
Mhm.
situation, right? Like I'm on a roll
Right.
here and like things are out of my control. But like back to the thing, like how I react to it is what is just it's about this. So like if we create our world, which we do, right? We're the creators of our own world. Like we have the pen. We're writing out what we want in our life. Like the only thing I have control over right now is if I freak out or not, right? I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? Like you can't, I'm gonna honor this situation the best and the most like high divine love and light that I can, and then continue about my day. And there'll be other opportunities for people to come and join us and listen to us. And, if they like our vibe, they like what they say so far, there'll be another podcast. Like, I can't worry about that. Right. You know what I mean?
No, no,
So it
no.
goes right
Don't worry
along
about it.
with the whole
Yeah,
thing of like,
that's
we don't have control over situations. Things don't go as planned, and they never will. You can have the best plan in the world, the best list in the world, but you know what? Like you said, things always come up, right? So it's up to us to decide what's the highest and most like elevated route that we can take that's going to help not only us but like the collective as well. And I think that's really what the moon is reminding us right now, is like things are going to come up, things are going to happen, things are going to get wonky. We're in Mercury retrograde, like, we're in a different space in space, right? You know what I mean? Like, they say now that some part of the sun's missing. I mean, who knows what's going to happen next? Like, we don't have any control over anything or anything like that, except for how we react to things. And so if you don't remember anything else from this podcast or anything else from anything, just, you are your own compass. And regardless of what the world says, regardless of what your best friend says, you know what I mean? Like, you are your own compass. And it's really important now more than ever to go and use that internal clock, because when the internet and when the electricity and all this shit goes away, you only got yourself anyways. You know what I mean? If the entire internet shut down today, I know that I would be fine because I have such a good connection with my spiritual team on the inside. I could still get the information that I needed. I would still be safe. I would still be good. Like, things may come up, challenges may come up, yes, but I'm not so reliant on the outside world that I feel like I don't have a connection, right? So
mhm.
if you don't remember anything else, I just urge you to like go inside, connect with yourself, stop watching the news, stop filling your brain with all of the stuff that's going to freak you out. Go inside. That is the most important thing right now. Go inside and do what is good for you. So we
All right,
will
sister. Good job. Go get your kids at
definitely
school. And yeah, I'm losing you anyway. You're pausing. We have a really bad connection.
you know, I have enough layers. You're frozen. I love
You
you.
were. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right, everyone. Mariah had to leave. Her kids' school called, so she's off to take care of that. It's a very practical, mystic uh, problem. I shouldn't say a problem, actually. It's a very practical, mystic um, way of living. I mean, that's what it means to be a practical mystic. It's how do you navigate this world and being a spiritual being and living in this practical world? How do you navigate it? How do you meld the two together so that you can have an enriching, expansive life? And, the veils are so thin and all of this is coming at us. And she's so right. Things are shifting and changing rapidly right now. In fact, I feel this rapidness, and I feel like that's partly why I pulled back for a little bit to do videos and things, because or even speaking, because I just was feeling this, like I needed to go inward a little bit. And that's a very important thing to do. And that's kind of her message as well, is what what part of you is disconnected from you. And so this moon in particular is a great opportunity to kind of have that dialogue with yourself. What relationship do you have with the self? Because really that's what it is. In astrology, Libra sits in the seventh house of relationships, and Aries sits in the first house of the self. And so there's this beautiful symbiotic, relationship between the self and the relationships with others. And it's also relationships with the things in your life. So as we talked before, we're going into a new moon, which is about new beginnings. And the new moon means that the sun and the moon are aligned. So they're both in Libra, and it's going to be tomorrow morning, Pacific time at sunrise. Um, and the energy of the new moon lasts. Well, any new moon or full moon, it's sort of like a day or so before and a day or so after. You can still like really work with this energy. But what it's going to do is if you make the effort to go in and look at those relationships now, so that you um, don't have you don't wait. It's the energy is like amplified right now. So it's a perfect time to go in and really look at those relationships and jot down what's going on in my world right now that I'm aware of that feels like um there might need to be some work, or maybe you've been having a feeling that there's someone in your life that you're just been kind of not really feeling in alignment with lately, or they're kind of going this way and you're going that way. And I did a big journaling right this morning with my guides and this morning on a topic that I'm going to bring up in a different podcast, but it's all about owning your autonomy, and right now we're being so bombarded with being told how we should feel, how we should think. And if you don't follow the agenda, you are of the masses, whether it's in your country, your community, your home life, whatever, your business work, you're kind of villainized, and it's not a good thing because it's not about for some reason, and that's why she mentioned the throat chakra. And I was like, I feel a lot of that right now, that we're not able to really speak our truths to those that we used to be able to, that we thought we had a relationship with, that was kind of on the same page. And then when you start getting a little deeper into their theories or their feelings around things, you realize that you're not even on the same page, or there's just things that don't sit right with you. And so this is an opportunity to say, what do I feel? What do I want? What kind of relationships do I want to go forward with in this next phase of your, because this is pretty big. This isn't just like um a next phase for next month. This is like this is big. This is more like a phase for, I haven't looked at the astrological aspects of this or talked to many people on this particular moon, but for me it feels like future, like the rest of your life kind of thing. Like there's an opportunity here for, if not that many years in the future. So my guess is, to be honest with you, up until probably, this is my intuition, it just kind of came through the 2024. We're going to see 2024, 2025, we're going to see another big, massive shift. And we're going to look back and say, wow, look at all the things that happened. And this is what we're going to do with it now. Or this is what has been, this is the final result of everything we've worked on. So right now it's an opportunity to really look at our relationships, and they're all being challenged. All of them are being challenged. And anybody who tells me they're not having challenged relationships, I would be really hard pressed to believe them. They're just not really seeing it, but it's there. Um, so it's an opportunity to say, okay, well, how do I want my future to look like? Do I want to, even if you don't have this is the big thing I want to say, even if you don't know what to expect, or you're living in a place of fear and worry about like what would happen, like you might look at everything that's being plotted out in front of you and say, well, it looks like it's going to go this way, and I'm worried about that, I don't like that, or it's going to go this, that way. I want you to know that that is, us as humans, we're so stuck in what we think is going to happen that it it disconnects you from the opportunities of the amazing things that can happen. And sometimes I'm sure a lot of you will know that you can go back to memories when this has happened, where you thought, oh well, here's all the things that are in front of me, so from this I can see that if we continue on this project trajectory, this is the end result. Well, that's not necessarily true. I've seen spirit literally do things, or bring things, energetically in front of me, that I went, oh my gosh, I thought for sure the floor was going to fall out underneath me. And they actually put this underneath and it worked. I never saw that in a million years, coming out of left field. Um, and right now we're seeing things move so quickly. It's like, oh, it's this way one day, and this is what's happening, and oh gosh, we got to worry about that. And the next day it's like, oh well, there's this other thing, and oh, this thing doesn't matter so much anymore. Oh, we've changed our minds about this and now we're doing it this way. Like it's all over the place. And this is why I think it's important to, like Mariah said, disconnect from social media that's not supportive of you, that's trying challenging your opinions and your feelings. Even if you believe what they're saying, step away a little bit and write down what kind of relationship do you want to have with yourself, with the people in your life, and the world in general, your country, your world, your community, whatever it is. Like use all of your relationships. And I mean, obviously that would be a lot of work, but if you could do that, it'd be awesome. I think I'm going to try to do that. Relationships that really are coming up in front of me that have been challenging lately. How do I want to feel, and what do I want to see in the future? I can't, without predicting or putting expectations on how it should look. So it's not necessarily saying, I'm trying to think of an example here, like, um, you know, right now we have our knowledge of how we deal with this virus, for instance, and we have these different ways people are seeing it, and working out. Different states are doing different things, and different families are doing different things, but we're all kind of in the soup together. But if you really get stuck in the agenda or the information that's coming at you, and I say agenda because I feel like there's a participation with certain groups that are wanting you to think a certain way without you using your own discernment. And so when you're able to step away and use your own discernment and say, okay, I see this is all going on around me, and it is a problem for sure. And a lot of people are suffering, and there's a lot of fear, and there's a lot of worry, and there's a lot of judgment, a lot of judgment. But how do I want to see my future? How do I want to see my relationship with this situation going forward? Not what you think might happen, not what you think is impossible. How do you want to feel about this going forward? Spirit knows how to bring things and think items into people, places, things into your reality to support that feeling that you want to have. And if you just know, so once you do that and then you just let go and you trust, in the asking it is given. I mean, it literally is as simple as that. You just have to be aware, and you have to be open to not having expectations of what you think is going to happen. So um, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but this relationship issue, as far as how do you want to feel about certain things in your life that you're connected to, you have an interpersonal relationship that has been maybe not benefiting you as the way it should be. How do you want to feel about that going forward? And put that intention out there. You can write it on a piece of paper, you can burn it, you can put it in a frame, you can fold it up and put it in a box, look at it later and see if it came true. It's always surprising to me how one day you'll feel depressed about something, or sad or worried or fearful about something, and like 3 days later it's like shifted, and you didn't expect how that was going to happen. And you're like, wow, I didn't even think about that person coming in and making a change. Or there's a new discovery that supports everybody's position, right? Whether it's political, medical, personal, country, whatever. I mean, there's so much going on, and I don't want to get into that because I'll probably be taken off if I do that. There'll be some sort of like her with like Mariah with TikTok. I mean, seriously. I've seen TikToks where people are throwing firecrackers into areas and blowing up things, but yet, so it's sort of like this crazy dynamic that's going on. And the other thing I want to say to her point, and I wish she was here, but that's okay. We'll get her next time, is when she mentioned the idea of using what we have in front of us to support us, even though we get kickback from it, whether you're putting something out and it gets banned, or you say something that's not, in the realm of like what is supposed to be said and how it's supposed to be said, which is really sad that this is going on in the world right now. It's very sad to me, but I'm every day I hold this hope, this intention. I'm not going to say hope. I hold this compassion in my heart that it will shift and change so that we can all be able to communicate and respect each other's opinions and point of view, without fear of retribution or judgment. But in the meantime, how do we go out and we speak our truth? And how do we go out and be valued in the world for what we have to say and not be afraid to say it and use the platforms that we have available to us? We don't have a platform, we only have a few platforms available to us to really get the word out of um, to share our wealth of knowledge, whatever that is that you have. And if I know so many people that are afraid to speak out right now because they're afraid that they'll be taken down. And I think to myself, well, if I'm taken down, then I guess that's what spirit wants for me. But I'm not here to preach an agenda. I'm not here to say you should do this or you should do that. I am only here to hold the space for the dialogue of like, own yourself. You are a spiritual being living a human existence and experiencing what it's like to be human. And use the tools you have in front of you for spreading compassion and love and hope for the future instead of talking about the problems that you can't control. I think I spoke this on my previous podcast. I'm not a politician. I'm not a medical professional. I don't have the power to go in and change policy. All I have is the power to spread compassion and love and say, you know what, this sucks right now. There's a lot going on that doesn't feel awesome. So how do you shift that energy? You you come out and you bring out compassion and love and you spread oneness and you spread up leveling frequencies that go through the airwaves. And those who have ears to hear and eyes to see will find you, and hearts to feel, they'll find you. And the ones that want to squash you, um, it's a temporary thing. They don't have the power to stop what it is to be human. And humans express their feelings. And um, it will always, if we come out with compassion and love for humanity to up level, we will, that is, that's the highest thing you can do. That's the best thing you can do right now, because that will shift these lower vibrations of people and groups of that are trying to tell you that what you feel isn't valid or correct or right. So that's my and I know I keep kind of going all over the place, but this moon is really important opportunity, knowing that this is harvest time to harvest new ways of feeling and being, and instead of holding on to what you can't control, what can you control? You can control your heart. You can control your thoughts on something. You know, it's not about, it's like having conversations with people and allowing them to express their feelings, whether you agree with them or not, and give them the compassion and validation that what they feel is important and it's okay. You don't have to try to change them. Um, it's it's that's what's great about you know, living in a time where we can speak and not be, burned at the stake. Um, but again, if I really want to bring some deep spiritual stuff in there, a lot of us are working on that through this, these lifetimes that we've had that we're healing through this lifetime where we weren't able to speak, our hands were cut off, our heads were cut off, we were burned at the stake, we were tortured because we had different thoughts and opinions, or we did things in the world that were didn't make sense to the collective, or they were not following the agenda of the collective at that time. And so we didn't have the freedom to just say, I don't like that, or that doesn't fit me, or that's not um, correct. And we have that opportunity now through these platforms to speak our truth. They're slowly trying to find ways to stop that, but the momentum and the energy of this time and the years and years we've had to be able to do this without being tortured and killed, it's like they can't stop. It's like a boulder rolling down a mountain. I mean, you can only put a few things in front of it to slow it down here and there, but it's gonna find its way. And this is what's it's gonna find its way. And we're all gonna heal from these timelines where we have been not been able to speak our truth. And this is a very throat chakra work. In fact, I believe the United States itself is a throat chakra um, country, where it's about speaking your truth and not being persecuted for it. So we're starting to see that there's a need to sort of control that, and so it's an opportunity to say, am I going to heal? Because that does, it's like there's no really good or bad energy. I mean, in a way, it's a positive thing that that's happening, and it's part of the evolution that we're going through, and the expansion we're going through is causing those of us inside that need to heal that wound of speaking our truth, whether it's to your spouse, to your friends, your family, your boss, to the country, to the world. We're having this opportunity to speak to heal those past wounds of not being able to be heard and validated and validated for what we had to say and contribute. We're having the opportunity now to do that. And in many ways, shape, or form, whether it's in writing, if it's in speaking and singing, it's in it, creative expression, whatever. We're having the opportunity to do that now and heal the wounds of not being able to do it from the past. But the way spirit works is they always give you a little challenge. It's saying, okay, we know you want to work through these wounds, but we're going to throw something in front of you to work through. If we hadn't had an opportunity for something that's stopping us, we wouldn't be able to work through something. Does that make sense? So if everything was super keen and wonderful and perfect and everybody could speak their truth and nobody had to worry about being censored or devalued or judged or hurt or had a loss of something important in their lives, then there wouldn't be this contrast to work through something. You have to have contrast to see what you don't want. And so we're being challenged and going, wait a second, we've had it easy peasy for a long time and we've been able to just like speak our truth and say what we want. And now we're sort of being criticized and judged and shamed. And wait a second, but wait, if I go out and I express and I push for what needs to come forward within me, am I going to be killed? Most likely not. In the past you were, or I should say other lifetimes you have been, but in this lifetime you have the opportunity to break through that and use the tools, actually using the tools that are trying to stop you, using them in a smart way that's about raising the vibration instead of going in and arguing and being mm, contra what's the word I'm looking for, you don't want to fight the system. You want to work with the system. It's kind of like saying, a lot of people saying, well, we have to change all the systems. Well, you can't really just change all the systems by wiping them all out. You have to work within the system you created to transform it. So it's about transforming, not breaking down and creating new. Um, yeah, I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I think I need to wrap this up. We're at the 60-minute mark. I hope you enjoyed this information. I'm really sad that Mariah had to get off early, but we are going to do another one soon. It's on my to-do list to do one with her more often. She has a lot of wisdom and knowledge, especially around, these ceremonies and crystals and all kinds of things that I am not a master at, or even a semi, I don't even want to say anybody's really a master, but she's very good at it and she does it a lot and she knows certain things I don't. So it's really fun for us to kind of play off each other, and we learn and expand through our conversations. And I hope that you enjoy listening to our conversations and having the opportunity to maybe see pieces of your life that might be in there that you're going through the same thing, and then what we're doing to support our transformation and shifting and up leveling through our trials and tribulations. um, and if you have any questions, or you would like to speak with me about anything I said, or maybe there's something going on in your life that you are struggling with, and my guess is really everybody's struggling with something, but if you need help sort of looking outside your picture frame, to see what maybe you're missing to shift within your life so that you can have more ease and grace in your transition and your transformation during this time, please contact me. I would love to work with you and help you see where, um, you know, you can just do a little tweaking, and most likely it's just a little tweaking, and then find your way. Um, Also, there's a lot of people right now who are suffering physically. Your body is the mirror of what's going on inside that you're not paying attention to. So I also, I'm an intuitive medical medium and energy healer. So if you're looking for work in that area as well, just know that if you work with someone like me, I'm not going to let you get away with not knowing what the emotional piece that's going on that's actually causing at the root the physical ailment in the first place. And so those who really want to do the deep diving work to do the biggest transformation and really get the most movement, those are the people I'm looking for to work with. So hopefully, if any of you are interested in seeing if that is you, or that you're feeling this alignment with me and you're like, yes, let's go deep in there and just get to it, and tired of dealing with whatever it is you're dealing with, make sure to contact me. I'd love to work with you. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna wrap it up. Mariah and I will get together in a couple weeks and we'll post another episode. And again, sorry about this video. Like I'm on actually my computer with what's the normal, just the Facebook, the not Facebook, the FaceTime camera, because every single thing I tried didn't work. I tried 3 different ways of getting a better video, and this is what I got today. So hopefully those of you watching the video will understand and have that compassion for me, knowing it's not as professional as I normally would like it to be and as clean, but if life wasn't didn't have these obstacles and these things, then it wouldn't be exciting and interesting, right? So anyway, all right, guys, until next time, hang in there and have a great new moon.